Hello everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Kursitt's free game reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing a game on itch.io named Red Trees. I've known about this game for a while, and I first played it around 10 months ago. I never bothered to complete the game, but I've decided to return to it just for this series. Anyway, let's begin. Red Trees is an RPG game created by the itch.io user Caramel, and developed using RPG Maker VX Ace. Caramel is an Australian artist and game developer who had registered their account on July 24th, 2016. I couldn't find much more information about Caramel other than that they've released two other itch.io games, Dr. Signal's Strange Machine and You and I on the Long Long Drive. Caramel unfortunately hasn't been active on itch.io in over a year as of now. Red Trees was released sometime in July 2016. However, the current version of the game, version 1.5, was most likely released in July 2019, since it was created in celebration of the game's third anniversary. Version 1.5 apparently doesn't change much other than new music, updated dialogue, and gameplay improvements, although I've never played the first version, so I wouldn't know exactly how different it is. In the game, you play as a young girl named Artemis, who lives in a small town surrounded by a forest. What has reportedly been a monster which kills bunnies and also attacks them out. Whoa, whatever's in that forest mustn't be so nice. But anyway, the game is relatively short and consists of giving different items to NPCs in order to get into the forest and figure out what's in there. The game also has a log feature which I really like, since it gives descriptions of each character you come across in the game. Speaking of, each character in the game, despite not having much dialogue, feels very unique and memorable, such as Artemis's mother, who scavenges, i.e. steals from people's bins, or the mayor, who's a fucking weeaboo. Like, come on, this guy sits in his office all day watching anime. Does he even do any of the work? But anyway, the game also has a pretty nice soundtrack as well. Here's one of the songs from the game. Yeah, pretty good. That one plays in the south half of the town. Now, the game also has different stats for each item, such as the cookie's taste stat or the watering can's flower affinity stat, which is pretty nice. This next part is going to have some spoilers, so skip to the timestamp on screen if you don't want that. Anyway, the story starts with Amethyst having a nightmare, with the words "Find it" being repeated over and over again towards the end. Amethyst then wakes up, and after leaving the house, goes around the town giving several different townspeople items that they need, in return for other items which allow Amethyst to eventually get into the forest. Several characters mention of a creature within the forest, which apparently attacked one of the townspeople. Amethyst is required at some point to bring a lost bunny back to its owners, which presumably has been attacked by the creature. Eventually, Amethyst is tasked with bringing a milkshake to the one who was attacked, a man named Benjamin. Benjamin tells Artemis that he was being followed in the forest, and that the creature that attacked him looked like his dead wife. Yeah, that's pretty strange. When he suspects that Amethyst doesn't believe him, he kicks her out of his house and throws a pillow at her. After a few more tasks, Amethyst gains permission from the mayor to go into the forest, since she gave him a cat girl figurine. Seriously, that guy's a weeaboo 100%. But anyway, once Amethyst enters the forest, she comes across a witch named Melody, who asks Amethyst to do a puzzle, which, by the way, isn't needed to be done to complete the game, and will give Amethyst a bag of meat in return for completing it for some reason. At the end of the game, Amethyst comes across a clone of her dead brother. After the clone tries to convince Amethyst that it is her brother, Amethyst says that she knows that the clone is actually the monster from the forest, and that she's wanted to meet it for a while. The monster seems confused at first, but eventually it reveals itself. It mentions that Benjamin actually ran away from it and fell over, and that when it's scared it reflects what's in people's hearts, hence why it looked like Amethyst's dead brother and Benjamin's dead wife. Amethyst then offers to bring the monster home and introduce it to the townspeople, and then the game ends. Overall, Red Trees is a pretty short game with a very good art style and a lovely soundtrack. Despite the short amount of gameplay, each character stands out and is unique. There is two issues, however. One, the entire game solely consists of giving NPCs different items. Sure, there's a puzzle at the end of the game, but that doesn't do anything important. Not only that, but there's no side quests in the game. It's just going to a different NPC, giving them an item, and then going to another. And for 2, the entire game is played through a small window which you cannot change the size of and also can't set to full screen. It doesn't cause that much annoyance, but it is certainly a downside. Because of these 2 aspects, I'm going to have to give the game a 5 out of 10. Everything is great when it comes to the art, characters and story, but the gameplay, the core of any game, is bland and tiresome. The fact that it's in a small window for no apparent reason also brings its points down a little. Well, that's the end of today's video. Thanks for watching this episode, and if you liked it, then please consider watching some of my other videos as well. Goodbye, Kursitt out!